Who's most to blame for Philly's struggles? What is going on with this team?
Carson Wentz. I mean, like, how many times do I have to say it? When you get paid $100 million, when you get paid $100 million plus in a guarantee as a quarterback, you are expected to make up for problems on your team, not be the problem on your team. And what do I mean by this? 3rd and 3, it's the first series for the Eagles. On the Giants, 22, 3rd and 3. Carson Wentz is locked in on Rieger, right? You see him. He goes to throw. He pulls it back. I thought Dan would appreciate this. I was thinking, what's Dan Orlovsky thinking right now? He pulls it back. But he stays locked in on him, right? And he tries to force it. He did not convert one 3rd down pass. Not convert, get a 1st down. He didn't complete a pass short of the stick. Like, he did nothing on 3rd down. Dan, this is a guy who was the best 3rd down passer in the league a couple of years ago when I thought he was the MVP until he got hurt. That means consistent regression. It's not just what's around him. And if he feels he has to do more to compensate because there's not enough around him, even though he's playing a 2-win Giants team, I know they compete, but they lose a lot, the Giants, then this is what they have to be emphasizing, I'm sure, during the week, right? Like, don't try. We just need you to not try to do too much all the time. Remember what happened last week? He gets in post-game presser and he's talking about this is probably always going to be my problem throughout my career. This is just the way we do things around here. Really? Because a couple weeks ago I said, given his level of talent and his age, it'd be irresponsible, like, to move on from him. And then I said, then a couple weeks later, I'm like, you know what? You're going to have to sit Carson Wentz down. He has to be held accountable. And I referenced Donovan McNabb being sat one year, and then he took his team to the NFC Championship game. There's no accountability for Wentz on this team. I don't know if it's because he has the owner's ear or what it is, but there's no accountability. He can basically do whatever he wants, which is why the kind of mistakes he makes don't get fixed. He was once again outplayed by the opposing quarterback. He is outplayed every single week by the opposing quarterback. He's never posted a quarterback rating better than the opponent this year. Never, not one time. He's 31st in passer rating this year. So and by the way, I identified the regression in the second half of last. I'm actually proud of myself. I apparently saw it, and Orlovsky, who's one of the best, didn't see it. It was regression, and it's continued. The trend has continued. Of course, Wentz is the problem.
Well, first of all, you're always inexplicably proud of yourself. Let's not act like that's new. You're proud of yourself every moment of every day. That's number one. Number two, it's always a hard subject for me to tackle on this show, Molly, Dan Orlovsky, when it comes to Max, because on one hand, I totally disagree with him about Carson Wentz. On the other hand, I'm so proud of him for sticking to this one point. It almost brings tears to my eyes. He has not wavered, not one bit. Nope. The ultimate waffler has not wavered. He has been consistent in his position about Carson Wentz, and it makes me so proud of him that he hasn't danced like the late Fred Astaire or moonwalked like Michael Jackson. I got to give Max credit for that. He is consistent with this Carson Wentz thing, but he's wrong, and here's why he's wrong. Max Kellerman yesterday. Carson Wentz got popped 13 times. 13 times this man got hit yesterday, okay? I mean, they were all over him. There was no protection from the offensive line. You had Jason Kelce out of the shotgun spot that couldn't snap the damn ball high enough, okay? Kept snapping the ball low. That was problematic. They don't protect him. The receivers aren't getting open all the time. Sometimes they're open and Carson Wentz does miss them. But obviously, most of the time, that's not the case. And then you got the combination of Sanders and Scott running the football. Is there something wrong? I mean, did Miles Sanders do something to somebody? The brother's averaging about 6 yards a carry. He averaged about 5.7 yards a carry yesterday. And oh, by the way, the combination of the two was running the football effectively, yet Doug Peterson decides to give them the ball 18 times. You would think the way that Carson Wentz has been playing, the way that he has struggled, how you've got somebody like Max targeting him every single damn week. Sometimes he gives them reasons to do so. Sometimes he doesn't. You got problems on your offensive line. You would think, in terms of pass protection, you would think you would run the football more, but you never has. Did y'all know that Miles Sanders has never had a 20-carry game in his entire 23-game career? in the National Football League. I don't know what the hell Doug Peterson is thinking. We ain't even getting into their defense. We're not even getting into how their linebackers look. We don't even know if they have one. We don't even think about what their secondary looks like. Everything seems discombobulated, and that's why before I even get to Carson Wentz, I got to get to Doug Peterson. Listen, I like the man. I'm fond of him. I think about him winning the Super Bowl with Nick Foles as his quarterback. But ever since that time, let's take into account and just really nail it down here, guys. There's problem at the quarterback position. There's problem at the offensive line position. There's problem with your decision-making because you don't run the football as much as you should. There's problem on the defensive side of the ball, particularly with your linebackers and in your secondary. There's problems schematically. Damn, that's a whole lot of problems. I mean, on both sides of the ball, it would be one thing if there's this one thing where I could point to the offensive line coach, or this one thing where I could point to the secondary coach, or the defensive coordinator, or the offensive coordinator. Everywhere you look with the Philadelphia Eagles, there's a problem. And that's why I think Doug Peterson is in a world of trouble. The way things are going right now, if it was just a quarterback, it would be Carson Wentz. But because of all of those things, right now, if Doug Peterson doesn't get this ship turned in the right direction, he might be out of a job at the end of this season. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.